I've got another ghost story for you. This one goes back quite a bit, though. I think it's about 25 years ago. I was working as a reporter for a small town newspaper in northern Maine called the St. John Valley Times. And there was a branch office in the town of Fort Kent that I would use as my base of operations because that was my coverage area, was the town of Fort Kent. And the branch office had a little nook in this old building that was a furniture store. But it was an old building. And in the past, it had been a bunch of things. And one of those things had been a mortuary. And anyway, I was sitting there in my little office space alone in this part of the building. There was an upstairs with apartments. And I had a little desk and an old Apple computer. And I was just sitting there reading because it was around 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I had to go to a meeting for school board or something of that nature. I don't remember exactly what. I just know I was just killing time. So I was just reading a book in this little office area in the old furniture store. So I'm sitting there, and next to me, the keyboard of the computer starts making noise. And it sounded like somebody had run their fingers across the keyboard. Of course, I hadn't moved. I'm thinking, well, maybe the jacket that was hanging off the back of my chair had kind of touched it. But I'm like, I didn't move. So I don't think that my coat could have done it. And part of me is like, well, maybe it's the cold affected. I'm like, the cold doesn't really affect plastic that way. And besides, I'm inside, it's not cold inside. So I'm like, you know what? I can go wait the frig somewhere else. I packed up my stuff and left. I never spent any time alone in that building ever again. And sadly, that place no longer exists. It burnt down a few years after I left the newspaper. So it no longer exists. But at that point, it was a building that was well over 100 years old.